I'm a traditionalist, and I like, a lot of really classic things, I mean, as far as classic music, classic guitars, classic cars, any of that stuff. I mean, there was a time in the world where everything was built with a certain level of quality and a certain level of, pride and craftsmanship and all that. Let's face it, Fender guitars are iconic. From a very, very young age, I knew that I had to have one, you know what I mean? The most important element of any guitar that I do with Fender is that it's what I would use, what I would play, what I could grab off a wall and take on tour with me. With the first Tele that we did, I wanted to keep the price point at a place where kids could afford it. And it's, we're at a day and age now, it's really hard to do that with the cost of materials and just the way it is. When I got the first prototype that they put together, I was kind of blown away by it. I mean, I didn't realize that it could be achieved, and it absolutely was. These guitars will really start to take on your personality too, I mean, that was another thing that was kind of important to me with doing a signature model. Like a lot of guys' signature models, it's like it's their model and it has their identity on it, and I wanted this guitar to be a little bit ambiguous in that sense, that whoever buys it will kind of take on their identity. Doing a matte finish, real thin kind of finish, if you play a certain way, whether you play with your guitar here or whether you play it traditional or wherever you have it, like where your arm hangs and where your hands touch the guitar, it's going to wear in where you do that, and on a lot of the guitars that have like, poly finishes and stuff like that, it's not going to wear in necessarily as quick. Everybody plays guitar differently, I mean, you could sit two guys next to each other and they could play the exact same scale, but it's going to sound different with each guy playing it, and I think the guitar should do that as well. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go into a guitar company and take something that's very traditional and very classic and make it the absolute opposite of what it was. So a lot of Tele traditionalists out there are probably like, well, that's not a Tele. It doesn't have single coil pickups, and it's, it's got different wood and all this, and it's not shimmering and bright and brilliant anymore, and which you can get that out of my guitars. But I wanted to take the Tele into kind of a whole nother world, which I think, working with Fender and with my ideas, we definitely did. I can flip it up to the 60 or even with this guitar with these pickups, and you can get all that shimmering kind of, classic Tele stuff out of it. But you could also, detune it and write a bunch of metal riffs on it too. And it cuts through, and I can use it in the studio, and I can use it live, and it's a really classic, iconic, legendary guitar. I'm just stoked on having this. This is great,